What's up, guys? You're watching A Link to the Past Randomized. This is Steve.
And this is Sandra.
Let's get into it. We're in Dungeon 3. We are about to head to the boss.
We took a
I
little
went
time.
ahead and grabbed some magic potion, refilled my magic, refilled my hearts. I don't want to get slaughtered again playing this dungeon. I want to get her done. That was a narrow escape. I remembered that I had one pot filled with magic potion. Turns out I had two. So that should make this a little bit easier. Maybe not so much with the heart situation, the health situation, but hopefully we'll be able to scoot on through without any trouble. Man, do those guys make me nervous.
We were talking the other day about what makes a butterfly, and we decided it was how their wings attach to their body, which makes that definitely a butterfly.
One heart piece.
That's ridiculous.
I went into the bedroom a minute ago, and before I came out here, you know who was lying on the bed?
Apollo.
Your moths, both of them.
They're
Doors
mine.
wide open, ready for them to go out, and they were just laying there on the bed, lazy as could be, right next to each other.
It's the dog days of summer. It's hot.
I
You
guess.
gotta nap when it's hot.
Alright, so we finished up that dungeon. We got the third diamond, third crystal, I guess. Let's explore the dungeon and see if we can find any more keys, or if I didn't screw it up completely by skipping everything. See if we can find some more keys and some more treasure chests. Let's see. If we had a key, we'd be able to use this.
You do have one key.
I don't have any keys.
Well, didn't you pick up a key? I could have sworn.
Nope. You see at the top there, there's 0 keys.
Oh, look
I
at
picked
that.
up a big key, maybe? Nope. No dungeon items whatsoever.
Neat.
So, when I go through that hole and come through here, that let me access that door. But since I don't have a key,
Can't do it.
gotta go the other way. And we can go this way. That totally hit that guy. That's wonky. Let's fill up on some magic.
Those wall hands they are something.
Well, and they're a lot harder to detect without sound. The way we're set up, we don't have sound right now. At least not through our speakers or headphones. Oh. I don't remember if this is a real cracked wall or if it's just a pretend cracked wall to waste a bomb on.
Real.
Blast. I'm having a heck of a time with these wall masters this go around. I usually don't. It must be the sound. Or I just suck. Or I just suck that bad.
Oh, now. Can you beat this game already a couple times? There are definitely visual clues to things, but I know you rely on the auditory clues as well for games like these.
Yeah. Nope. Don't have the Brick Lane cane. missed me.
So why didn't you go and get that chest?
I wanted to see what was in that bomb room because I forgot. Oh, come on! Is that number 3?
No, that's just number. Well, it's number 2.
This go around. Holy smokes! Did I get the chest? I didn't get the chest,
No.
did I? Of course not. Well, at least we keep getting enough magic pots to refill everything. There you go. Just stay over in your little zone. Away from me.
Move. There you go.
And of course, killing him doesn't stop him from coming down again.
They regenerate.
They do regenerate. Don't open that. So, the compass. The least useful item in this dungeon. You fall into where the big box, the big treasure chest is.
Yeah.
Run away! Let's see. I might have screwed the pooch on that one.
Why?
Well, there's a distinct possibility that I have used the keys in the wrong... Oh, no, there we go. There's another key. I think it's possible still that I may have used the keys in the incorrect order, and that means that there might not be enough keys to get through everything.
How did you know there was a key in that box?
Memory?
That's crazy.
That's neurotic. Let's see. No, I can't use the mirror because that'll just bring me back to this room. And I just used it to get in there. That didn't do me any good. Yep, I think I screwed the pooch on this one. Guess we're gonna have to go on the next one. Well, there's one other opportunity over here, maybe. Let's see which one this is. Don't remember this room.
Maybe you're entering it from a different way than you normally do.
It's possible.
And down.
Man down. We need a medic.
That reminds me of our friend Greg a little bit.
Fair enough. There we go. I don't remember if I've been in this room before. No, I have not. When I switch that, yeah, okay. Whew.
Is that the big key?
Nope, that's just another key. Which means that I can unlock another door.
What?
And I think there... That's the big key.
Hooray!
Awesome. I did not screw the pooch on this one. I actually managed to work it out quite nicely.
That's what you get for second guessing yourself.
I guess you're right.
You're gonna have to move when you come off of the map because, yeah, and was coming down, down.
Ah. Fair enough. I visited him.
I find those hands to be incredibly disturbing.
They are very fear-inducing. So you gotta go outside and drop down.
Outside of the whole dungeon?
Yeah, that's where I am right now. I drop down here. I puts me in the top of that room. Kill him. Cross
Interesting.
through. Oh, I gotta hit the stars. Does anybody know why these are stars? Never really understood it. Stars with eyes, no less. Why they switched the holes in the room. No fathom as to what. Maybe it's a Japanese thing.
A map! Just what you need. A map.
I guess I can't use the mirror because I dropped down. Blast it.
So what are the little tentacle turtles?
I don't know, but they are pretty strong. And they bounce off those things, which is very amusing. I don't remember if there's any more treasure chests in here. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that there are not. And we're gonna go ahead and move on. We beat the dungeon, got the crystal. And I think we raided all the treasure chests. The red guys are the hardest to beat. They take a lot of hits even with your upgraded swords.
You hit them with the arrows or the hook shot?
Yeah, but it just stuns them. Well, I guess we're not gonna do that for 20 rupees. Gotta kill them all.
We were watching a React style video to a Pokemon, the cartoon, a couple minutes ago, and it was hilarious. Because we were watching that cartoon, what was it, a month ago?
Yeah, something like that.
And it was, I didn't play Pokemon as a kid, and I've only started since Pokemon Go, and it's been interesting to see a bunch of culture that I didn't even know about.
Fair enough. For those of you that didn't know, Sandra grew up in rural Montana, and I grew up in Chicago. Kind of very different lives that we led growing up. She was a little bit of a free-range kid, and I wouldn't call myself a homebody, but I stayed in my neighborhood, that's for sure.
He was horrified to find out that we rode our bikes, because we lived in the country, and so we would ride our bikes into town to go to swimming practice, because we did league summer swimming. And we rode our bikes to and from the pool every day, twice a day. It was like 3 miles. And this isn't when we were little, but we were middle school, high school age. Well, middle school age, because you get your driver's license at 14 in Montana. So you drive right away, but Steve was disturbed by how much freedom we had as kids.
I mean, it wasn't the driving that really disturbed me. I mean, the biking, I did a lot of biking when I was a kid, too. It's more the distances you're allowed to cover and...
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
The more people lived on, the block that you lived on and the block across the street than lived in my entire hometown.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We had a couple apartment buildings across the street from us and whatnot, and to be sure, it was way more densely populated than in my, block or two that I grew up on than all of the town that you grew up in.
Yep.
For sure.
I mean, and we're not talking like 100 people. There's about 3,000 people living in my hometown. It's a small town, but it's not a tiny town. It's not a village. So it was very different upbringings.
For sure. And of course, you're 6th generation Montanan?
I am.
And I'm a 1st generation American on my dad's side. That's, you're white bread and I'm...
Ethnic?
Ethnic. Yeah.
Yes.
I grew up in my big fat Greek wedding.
Yes. And I didn't.
Yeah. So how much of a culture shock? Let's talk about the culture shock when you first came over for Greek Easter, that first time.
Well, I had already been part of the family for a while by then, so it wasn't so shocking, but it is overwhelming with coming from a family of 5 with exactly 2 first cousins to a family of what? How many people?
Well, I mean, it was just, me, my mom, my brother, and my dad growing up. So there was only 4 of us.
Yeah, but you have like 100 cousins.
No, I've only got 17 cousins. First cousins. But on my mom's one side, I think she's got about 100 first cousins.
Yeah. And it's so many people, and they're all they have such big personalities, all of them, and lovely people and a lot of fun, but we're, Americans who have been here a long time.
Protestants. Not Catholic, not Mormon.
Or more reserved, and, I would say we're definitely being rural, culturally different, and more laid back, I would say. I know that when we were planning our wedding, there was long discussions about whether or not we were assigning places for our reception, if we were going to do place cards and seat assignments, and that just was something I had never even considered. It was not even on my radar, and that was really interesting difference of culture, just, and not even living that far apart, but it's city and in the country. And we were getting married in the country, so we did it the country way, but...
That's right.
We got married in Glacier National Park, which is my favorite place in the world, and I think one of Steve's favorite places too, and I have no regrets about not doing seating assignments. So what did you get in the treasure chest?
That was the Cane of Samara, I think. Another cane. This one creates a block. You usually don't see it until, I think, the 7th dungeon. You put a block down and it'll hold down buttons, and what else? It will also, when you hit it a second time, or use the wand a second time, it will make the brick that you created split into 4 and become like a weapon.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it turns out, and I didn't know this because I just hardly ever used it, it's one of the more powerful weapons in the game. It can be used offensively pretty well when you don't have other weapons to kill people with. Pro Jared played this game on his channel, and he was one of the first weapons that he got, and it ended up being really useful. It can really do a lot of damage just in its block form without using it split up. So it's nice to have that as a backup for the big bads that need to take a beating.
I think it's interesting that they're shaped like a cane. When I think cane, I think, geriatric or recovery, physical therapy style.
I think, again, this is kind of a lost in translation kind of thing.
I think
where
so.
Canes in Japanese culture were more like magical, more like
a staff.
A staff, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's a mistranslation a little bit. Instead of cane, maybe you should have said staff. That would have made a little bit more sense. But yeah, I agree. I tend to see it as more of like a...
More of a Gandalf thing than a grandpa's cane.
Right. Absolutely, yeah, they're magic things. Well, how do we get to that treasure chest? Let's see what's inside. Another chest too. There's that one. Oh, awesome. Big key. It's nice to have that early in the game. Gotta run fast.
catch them all.
Now that I think about it, I think this is actually where the big key is. Anyways, I think you get it in the first part of this dungeon.
Can't go that way.
Nope, that's a wall. That's still a wall. Let's see.
I think the multi-level puzzle is just such a cool game dynamic.
Yeah, absolutely. It was huge for the Super Nintendo, for sure, to have the multi-level dimension added to the Zelda game. Alright, well we finally got through that. This episode's gone way too long. My name is Steve. This has been A Link to the Past Randomized.
And this is Sandra. Thanks for watching.